A lot of people here. It's like a CNN press conference. No.
It's not your first time facing Phoenix, but it's your first time coming back here.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for just a human element, for anybody that goes back to a place where you have so many memories and for you to have such great career success here, what are the emotions as you come back?
I don't know, man. It's hard to. It's a different deal just because of the relationships here, the people that I got to work with, I got to coach, where I was at the time, getting an opportunity to come here and coach, the partnership I had with the players here, and in particular Devin, and then the stuff that happened off the floor for my family. I thought about it a little bit last night when we were going to the hotel, and you see a hospital where your child was treated, and then when we left, my wife had a situation. All that stuff, was a part of the journey, and I just think about how blessed I was to coach here in this city and coach this team, and all the stuff that happened here was a huge treat for me and my family, and I just had a great sense of gratitude. And there's also the competitiveness that comes out. So I woke up and did my study time and then got right to work. It's just the range of emotions, you know what I mean? I was blessed to be here, and just thankful for the opportunity that I and the staff that was with me got here in this city with this organization.
I mean, we take a look at how you were able to kind of transform the Suns team and take it to the NBA Finals. Does that give you confidence that you can do something similar with this group?
I try not to do that. I think every situation is different. It's pretty clear that what was done here allows for someone like me to get an opportunity again. But to say that you're going to duplicate it, you can frustrate yourself with that. It's a totally different situation, in my opinion. And it wasn't me, and I don't say that with that fake humility silliness. There was a number of players and staff and support groups here that allowed for us to have a level of success, and I'm grateful for that. I do understand how hard it is. The difference with both teams was it was Devin. When you come into a situation and you have a guy like Book, and he was ready for that jump. And, from the time I met him, we went out to eat. I tell this story all the time. He looked me in the eyes and said, "Coach, I'll do whatever you need me to do." And that was the beginning of the partnership. And then Mikal and Cam and those guys just grew. And then we got Chris. And that's, you can't organize the chess pieces to, have that type of situation. You just got to go with your new journey, and you hope to have, that kind of success. And it happened so quickly. I don't think I had a great appreciation for it because it did happen quickly. When it was over, when things settled for me last summer and I had moved on, I had a chance to just process it all and realize how blessed I was to be in that situation. You too.
Got that chance to reflect on your time here and the relationships that you were able to build beyond basketball. Is it strange to come back here now and Book's kind of the only one from the finals run that's left here?
I mean, it's different when I watch, I watch so many games, and I watch a lot of Phoenix games because of, him and Josh and guys I've coached. Yeah, it's a little bit different. But, you still see Jay down there in the corner. You know what I mean? that stuff kind of brings you back home. I still am in communication with a number of people here. This place is a special place to me, man. So even though the basketball side of it is what it is, I try not to lose sight of the human side of it and the relationships that were formed. And again, I can't express enough gratitude for what I was able to be a part of while here in Phoenix.
Coach, it's good to see you. And to that point, what were your thoughts when you saw Chris and Deandre get traded? The fact comes out that Book's now the last player left here from the finals team. Just how quickly everything changed.
Yeah, I just that's the NBA. It wasn't like I was in my own situation trying to figure out what we were going to do with all the young puppies we have on our team. So I talked to Chris from time to time. I just wanted him to be in a situation where he was comfortable. But outside of that, I didn't give it a lot of thought. When you move on, you have to totally commit yourself to your job. And so I can only look at it from a fan's perspective, just like you guys do. But I'm emotionally tied to a lot of these guys that have moved on. And I stay in touch with them, almost all of them, because we wanted our program to be built around that. We wanted it to be past basketball, away from the court on different levels. And so because of that, I do watch it, but nobody got sent off to war. You know what I mean? It was they just got traded. It's not that big of a deal.
Coach, when you look at Devin, he said he would be here all day yesterday, talking about you and the relationship that you have with him when he was asked about it. How does it feel to know that you're part of his journey and now he's elevated his game even to another level?
Yeah.
Part of that story, when they retell his story, you'll be part of that.
I think any coach would want to be a part of, you want to be a part of winning. You want to be a part of a great team. And if you have a chance to be around a special player, that's like the icing on the cake. When I got here, he was ready for whatever step that was going to be. And I had no idea what it would be like. I think the moment for me when I realized how different he was in the bubble, and he hit that shot against the Clippers because I didn't even call the play for him. And he didn't get upset or anything like that. He just was like, okay, coach, because I just thought they were going to take him out. And I ran a back door for Mikal, and it didn't work out. Book got the ball, and that was it. And I remember, doing whatever dance I did on the side, and I just thought to myself, this dude he's different, and I got to get out of his way more. That was some of the thought process that I was going through. And then you just saw it, and now he's got his own shoe and he's become this, I watch it from afar and I'm like, that was a pretty cool time in my life, and you think it was 10, 12 years. It was only 4 years. You know what I'm saying? He just did a lot in 4 years. And his dad and his mom and his family, I know they're proud of him. And he's got a ways to go, and he works his tail off. And I watch him. I watch his mannerisms now. I watch him, lose it every once in a while. And he doesn't have me over there to tell him, cut it out. Because from time to time he'd look over at me to see if I was going to say something, and I'd be like, stop, and, you miss that. But at the same time, I didn't want to get in the way of it because, when you're around greatness, you got to let it do what it's going to do and just ride it out.
When you've been watching how he's been playing and then also just scouting for tonight, you used him as point guard in Spurs, so you knew he was capable of just what you've seen from him in this. I don't know if it's fair to call it a new role. You'd be the better person.
It's such a different team, when you have that much shooting on the floor, and they play somewhat the same, but he's probably played more point guard this year than any time in his career. I think we have to plan for that. We also have to plan for the isolations that happen. Grayson Allen, in my opinion, has been a bit of an X factor. When he's rolling, they're pretty good. And to have a guy like that on the second side is somewhat like having a Cam Johnson over there. He does a lot with the ball. So that partnership with those two guys has been really good. for this team. So Book's a hard cover for any defense system, whether it's sports or national defense. It's just a hard cover for everybody.
Coach, welcome back. Just wondering about Cade and similar situation from when you came to Phoenix, both being that building block, and now you're in Detroit, and Cade is that. He's had 30, 40-point games.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that's been overshadowed by the record in more ways than not. But do you see similarities in that ways that your situation from Phoenix to with Cade here in Detroit?
Not as much as you would think. I think they're in different places. Yeah, Cade was out all last year, so this is basically his second year. By the time I got to Book, he had already had a lot of success scoring, a few thousand points already, 70-point games, all of that. So I think it's different. The talent for sure is there. But I've tried to have an open mind with Cade and not put him in a box and say, you have to be this player. I want to coach him to be the best version of Cade. But they're both gifted players. And to compare Cade to Book, I don't think that's fair. Book's in a different class, and he's accomplished a lot. Cade wants all of that, but, he's just not as far down the assembly line as Book is. So I think you have to, from my perspective, I want to coach him based on where he is.
Monty, welcome back. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Just talk about your own team the last
Yeah.
3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
What you've seen, is it as simple as, new system, guys
Yeah.
starting to grasp it?
A bit. We had a tough loss at home and went to Boston the next game and played them really well. And I thought that was a turning point for us to be able to bounce back from a tough loss at home. We've had unreal losing streak that allowed for us to grow and allowed for me to rethink some things. But to your point, we've gotten better every month. It hasn't looked that way because of the record, but we compete our tails off every night, and that's something that I'm proud of. But we're back to kind of starting over again with the trade, because now we have so many guys that are trying to figure out the terminologies and how goofy I am. So they're figuring out this is a different deal. So we got some work to do. But to your point, I'm proud that our group has gotten better every month, and we're starting to see some success on the floor. All right.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Monty.
guys. Yep.
Really appreciate the time over the years.
Thank you.